I broke down over 100 sample tracks in my channel, but I think I'm about to quit. Some of these breakdowns take me multiple attempts through weeks, months, and even years in some cases to successfully finally, pull it off. Usually when I get stuck on something is because there is a technique or an effect that I don't know about. Like in the case with J Dilla's Much More, where I needed to learn downsampling, and it is also really difficult when I have to analyze the micro chops in a beat. My ears had to develop tremendously in the last couple of years for me to successfully pull off breakdowns like Young Bass You've Got Me. Even though I am quite confident in myself that I will eventually pull through if I just throw my head at the wall enough, there is some Dilla stuff that y'all been asking about that I've been stuck on for literal years at this point. I'm frustrated, I am tired, and honestly I'm just mind blown by these beats. Dilla's the GOAT, but holy, sampling can be such a... So, if you're a producer nerd, please flex those producing muscles by helping me with some of the breakdowns that I am stuck on. Let's start with This Is It. This is pretty much done. The only issue is that there are two pretty important chops missing. These two micro chops repeat throughout most of the beat. They aren't really noticeable, so let's isolate them. My current theory is that it's the tail of a sound, right before or right after the main piano melody. Next one is a beat that I love a lot. Here I got the main structure down. The problem here is the reverse loop that is layering the beat. It can also be something else entirely different, and I'll never figure out what he did to layer this sample. Now to Purple. I got the drums. I even included them in my drum samples videos. But the warping on the main melodic sample is one of the toughest things to get it right. It is just such a wonky sound. This one I think I'll have a breakthrough sooner than later. I can isolate the sound on the beat and then use those same parameters on the sample and then try to warp it. But I don't think it will be as simple as just doing that to figure out the warping, because I think the way he chopped it and put the melody together is not going to be super straightforward. Moving on to Secrets of the Sand, which inspired this whole video. When I asked about it in the J Dilla Drake technique video, I got the most amazing comment section of all time. Y'all dropped some gems in there. For this one, the consensus seems to be that he automated a filter or moved it manually to create the wobbling rhythm. But it wasn't just a sweeping filter, it was a resonating sweeping filter. And as soon as I become good enough in this technique, I will do a video on it. But right now, I am not that good. So far, all that I know is that resonance is the frequency point where the filter is set to cut. And boosting that frequency while having a sweeping filter effect can create some crazy sounding melodies. Now, last donut of the night. Absolutely one of my favorite beats of all time. And I thought I had it perfect until this part. There's no way to stretch the long singing notes to sound the way he does on the beat, especially in the end where the sample is layered with other background vocals, but the beat doesn't have the background vocals. My current theory is that there is a version of this sample on vinyl that is panned in a certain way that I can remove the background vocals using the stereo removal effect. Next up is Find a Way, a song by the Tribe Called Quest. This is pretty sick because he uses the stereo removal from my K-Tronada video and it sounds exactly the same. But the sample that is giving me nightmares is this one. I automatically love it because I am Brazilian and the daughter of a Brazilian legend is singing here. Now, I can get her a cappella by using vocal removal AI, but I have no idea how they got such a clear take of her singing on the Tribe Called Quest song. There was no vocal removal in the 90s. And like I mentioned, I can't remove the percussion from the sample. Maybe Dilla had industry connections and because of it he was able to get the stems from the Toa song, or Toa just added percussion to a loop from a sample that I don't know what it is, nobody knows, and Dilla used that sample on the Tribe song. Okay, last two. This one is kind of tricky. I have the sample. It is of course reversed, but working on a sample and trying to match the edits that they did on a reverse sample can become a very annoying process. This one, it feels like I will get a breakthrough and be able to finish as soon as I put enough hours into it. While all the other ones I've been struggling on for months and even years, this last one I just started this month on 2023. This one, like I said, is super recent, so I made a lot of progress since starting this video. On my second or third attempt trying to break this down, even today I tried to break this down and I made a lot of progress. Almost enough progress that I can finish the track, but there's still two things that are bothering me. One of them is very similar to the last donut of the night, where they had on the sample a very short melody, but on the beat, that short melody was extended. And I think I might have figured out how he did it on this track. This note extends throughout this whole section. It holds. But it comes from this part of the sample that lasts just about this much, because the second note already comes right after. So what I try to do is that after the snare hits, I grab this little section of the sample and I extended it, like really like a lot. This is it regular, this is it extended. And it kind of works. I'm gonna test that out a little bit more. Also try doing this on the Last Donut of the Night beat. But the second problem is this melody right here. This stutter string pattern, it's throughout the beat. Overall, it's just very tricky. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to get this one down. So yeah, hopefully y'all can help me. Well, if nothing else comes from this video, it is a way at least for me to share how difficult the process of breaking down the work of geniuses can be. Appreciate my efforts, people, because hours wasted trying to break something down can easily turn into days, weeks, months, and even years depending on how obsessed I get with the project.